Welcome back to The Beast Within. I'm your host, Aaron Saltzman. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you never miss another episode, because on these episodes, we are taking you through the journey to get to your fullest potential. Whatever avenue that may be in, whatever thing you're trying to explore, we are giving you the tools with people who have been down the road that you are currently on, face the obstacles that are in your way, and learned how to get ahead. So today's beast, we're going to dive right in, and that is actually what this Beast Within episode is about diving right in. We're going to actually lean on the opposite side of that, and we're going to call today's beast the Tiptoe Beast. You see, you start something new, a habit, a project, a goal, but you never fully dive in. You dip your toes in, testing the water, scared to commit all the way. The Tiptoe Beast feeds on your hesitation, fear of failure, and perfectionist mindset. But you see, this mindset gets you in trouble. This mindset is what's going to hold you back from ultimately reaching your fullest potential. It convinces you to be playing it safe and that this is a better route than risking it all. But in reality, it keeps you small. And then you sit there and wonder, why am I not seeing success in every single category of my life? Why am I not seeing success in the fitness world? Why am I not seeing success with my finances? Why am I not seeing success with whatever goal it is you're chasing? Because you see, you're going through the motions, showing up just enough to say you're trying, but instead, there's this nagging feeling deep inside of us saying, I'm not all in. You're working, but you're not creating actual change. You're almost just buying the time or pretending and making yourself feel as if what you're doing is impactful. And this is going to be a deep conversation, because what we really need you to do is fully submerge. This beast traps you in a half-life of effort without growth. So today we're going to unpack this beast and how it shows up and how to finally take the leap to full commitment. And I want to start this episode off with something that I learned from a coach of mine years ago. It was my basketball coach in high school, and it was a game that we were not putting in our full effort. We were lagging, we were jogging up and down the court. Anyways, he asked us at halftime, he said, what kind of man do you want to be? Are you the kind of person that goes to the ocean and tiptoes your way in and stops knee deep? Or are you the type of person to run out, not test the waters, face whatever interferes or whatever nervousness you have, and dive in? Well, you see, when it comes to the tiptoe beast, you tiptoe slowly. And what ends up happening is you start to overthink what the next step is going to be like. For instance, when you're tiptoeing into the ocean, all you can think about is, man, this water is cold. Man, it's getting colder as it rises. As soon as you get to the growing area, we all know that's the hardest part. So most people, they don't get to that level. They stay knee deep or just sit on the sidelines and lay out by the water. But then there's those that sprint in, dive in, and they don't have time to let their fears overpower them. They don't have the time to realize that this water might be too cold, or that I'm going to not be able to withstand the depths of how cold it is. And so that's where this beast is. This is what we're trying to face, is actually going all in and not putting yourself in a stage of over-analyzing and overthinking to where you end up not doing anything at all. And the quote for the day is by, I believe it was Wayne Gretzky. He says, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Well, you see, this beast, this inner beast of the tiptoe beast, it steals the shots by making you hold back. You're resisting, not fully, right? You don't need to dive, or you're telling yourself, I don't need to dive in slowly, just dip my toe enough to where it looks like I'm trying. It will look like you're involved from the outside. Well, look, they're dipping their toe. They must be doing something soon. They must be spending time behind the scenes that we don't know about. They must be planning something. But you see, planning is a secret word for staying still. Whenever you are over planning, you never move. And so this tiptoe beast, it gets you just somewhat in the right direction. It gets you somewhat, but then you wonder, why are my goals not coming to fruition? Why is this not coming to light yet? And the reason being is you have not decided to go all in. And so this tiptoe beast sounds like, I'm not ready yet. I need the perfect camera. I need the perfect lighting. I need whenever I have this, I will start. Whenever I have the finances, I will start. Whenever, I hear this one all the time. Whenever I lose the weight, I'll hire a trainer. What sense does that make? That's dipping your toe. That is allowing your fears to override your movement, right? And so I hear it all the time in the gym, all the time, is these, and they don't even realize that we don't realize, I do this in my life, we don't realize that these excuses are overpowering us, right? We don't realize that when you hire a trainer, that's still dipping your toe. Yes, it's one step in the right direction, but you still got to do the work. You still have to make sure your nutrition's on point. You still have to do the outside work that your trainer gives you. You still have to show up every single day and be consistent. The work isn't going to be done for you. And so I realized this in my life. I'm starting a mindset coaching business, and I realized that it's like I had it on my mind all the time, and I was planning and I was researching and I was doing all this, but there was no action, right? So I was dipping my toe, and time just kept going by, and I'm like, man, how do these people build these ginormous corporations? How do they get to this level of success? And I see somebody like Alex Hermosi, who I talk about all the time on this podcast, and that's how. They're not dipping the toe. They have put this beast aside. They've overcome this beast, and the way to do that is by going all in. Because by diving into the work and just doing what needs to be done, it doesn't allow that inner voice, that inner critic, that inner beast to take over, telling you to dip your toe or telling you, oh, what if I fail? You see, instead of focusing on the potential win, you obsess over the loss or the potential to lose or the potential of judgment. And the beast knows that as long as you're imagining the worst case scenario, you're going to stay still. And it's comfortable with that. And that makes you comfortable. But you see, this is where we have to face that comfortability. We have to step outside of the fact that it is going to be a little uncomfortable and people might judge you. And so for me, a big one is social media. It took me a long time to be able to get my face out there on social media and post for many different reasons. Are people judging what I'm saying? Are people judging the business model that I've created? Are people judging my looks? It's like this is something that inner critic, that inner beast just wants you to stay comfortable and wants you to stay still. And so it convinces you I'm doing the work, but it still just isn't, I'm not going to jump all the way in. Because if I go all in, there's a chance that I fail. I'm doing the work, but it still doesn't, in my mind, I got this feeling of I'm doing the work, but it still doesn't feel like it's real. It doesn't feel like I'm at the level that all these other people are in. You're busy, but not bold. You show up just enough to look and feel committed, but deep down, you know you're not fully invested in the game. And this came to realization to me, and then I just said, that's enough. Like, I've had enough. I'm all in. And I'm going to go all in on every little detail of what I'm trying to accomplish. And the way to do that, this is the hard part, the way to go all in is to minimize all else. And what I mean by that, I'm going to say it again, the way to go all in is to minimize all else. Everything else around you, all the static and the outside noise, you have to put this down. It doesn't have to be forever, but you have to put this aside. For me, this meant putting aside going out on my weekends. This meant putting aside the dating life. And again, this isn't forever. This is just something that I needed to do to keep my mind absolutely 100% focused, right? Focus is the answer to get to eliminating the tiptoe beast. And I'm going to give you guys a couple of tools later to help you guys overcome this beast, but that is the number one thing, is you need absolute focus. There's too many distractions in this world, especially things like social media or chasing things that maybe aren't for you. That's a big one, is like maybe some of the things, like somebody told me this week that I stopped the dating game, and maybe they just said, maybe this is just part of your journey at the moment. Maybe it's just not meant for you at the moment. And that hit. And I was like, I think that's actually accurate. I think that I have so much that I want to accomplish at the moment that all that is for me right now is a distraction and it's an excuse to tiptoe. So that beast is going to try and tell you, I'll start small today and I'll see how it goes. And just like some people in the gym, I'm going to go to the gym, once a week, and I'm just going to see how it goes. And once I feel better, once I feel stronger, I'll start to go again. I hear that all the time with many people that come in to see me in the gym, is once I feel better, or once the time, this is a big one in many aspects, once the time is right, The time is never right. And that right there is the tiptoe beast overpowering your mindset. The time will never be right. For anything that you want to endure, anything that's difficult, the time will never be right. You need to make it the time. Because if it's not the time right now, guess what? Life ain't getting any easier. Your time isn't opening up even better, even more, right? If you're somebody that's chasing a growth mindset or chasing something, you're only going to get more on your schedule. That's what I realized is my schedule is just packed up even more. So the all start small and see how it goes is the beast uses this as a way to keep you stuck in the shallow end, never fully investing enough to create actual real change for you. So the problem, what this beast does to you is it keeps you stuck in this never-ending limbo. You're never fully progressing, never failing, right? But we're taking small steps forward, but also you're never fully succeeding. Yes, you might see a little bit of success here and there. You might, lose a pound or two if you're in the fitness world. You might make an extra dollar if you're in the business world. But what is success to you? For me, success is that Gary Vee level, that Tony Robbins level, right? And so how do you become one of them? Well, extreme focus and stopping the tiptoe beast from overpowering you. This beast creates frustration and self-doubt because deep down, you know deep down you're holding back. That was that feeling I got. I was just like, what are these guys doing better than me or done better than me? And it's nothing. It's just they have fully committed themselves in every aspect of the game. And I knew deep down that I was holding something back. I wasn't actually giving my all. And so I had to question myself. And it's like you feel like you're working, but the real change isn't happening because you're not fully dialed in. You're spreading your energy thin over many things instead of fully committing to one path. And that's the other piece of this is that without dialing in on that one focused goal and spending the time necessary, that consistent time necessary in order to get to that goal, you're spreading yourself too thin. We have too many things on our plate. And so it's preventing you from learning and growing because you're not fully engaged and embracing the failure, right? So again, failure is a great thing. And so one thing I want you guys to focus on when it comes to this tiptoe beast is whatever you decide to do, big or small, focus on that one thing. For me, a big one was I've been telling myself for so long I really wanted a good skincare routine. I wanted to do this, and it was something that I would always say, I'll do it sometime. I'll purchase all that stuff another time. I'm just too busy. I don't want to research or do all this. But no, I'm going to face this. I'm going to focus. I'm not going to tiptoe. I'm going to dive right in. I bought all my things that I needed, and I made a face wash routine, something that is normal for me now. It's a daily habit. So I challenge you guys to focus on one thing. If it's eating healthy, a diet, staying consistent with your workouts, having a morning routine, whatever it is, focus on that one thing for 30 days, non-negotiable. You show up for yourself every day for those 30 days, and it is a non-negotiable when it comes to that. Again, not just going through the motions and wanting results, but actually deep diving on what needs to be done to get these results. Because you see, the real word of focus is something that we have to do we have to defeat these inner beasts that are overpowering your mind. They're speaking louder than your focus. Complete focus without allowing fear to put you in the state of in and half out, or as we call it, the tiptoe beast. Again, going into the ocean and stopping knee level because you are afraid to get your junk wet because it's going to be cold and you're fearful. Fear that things won't work out will slow your momentum to an absolute halt. And so the tiptoe beast, it feeds on this fear. Your fear of failure, your fear of rejection, fear of being seen, trying, right, and not succeeding. That's what we're so afraid of, is people seeing us try and not succeed. But in order to get to that next level, you got to try, and you got to try, and you got to try, and you got to fail. And if people judge you, oh well, because it doesn't matter. They're going to forget about it. What they're going to see is what you've built at the end. And so we have to understand this beast whispers that it's going to tell you you need more time, a little more research, a little more preparation, the better camera, the better lighting if you're on social media. You can't start the personal trainer until you know a little bit about fitness. No, you got to go and just jump in. Stop perfectionism by wearing a mask. You're convincing yourself that if you wait long enough, the right moment will arrive. But You see, this right moment is not a thing. This is not real. So stop hesitating because it feels safe and start risking because this is the only way to boost your confidence. Stop hesitating because it feels safe and start risking because this is what gives you the confidence in order to succeed. Over time, you will start believing that waiting will protect you. If you're in this mindset of the tiptoe beast, you're going to believe that waiting will protect you, when in reality, it's only keeping you in the shallow end and keeping you from reaching your fullest potential. So what is it like to break free? And that's what we're here to talk about today. The beast within. This is what we do. We talk about ways of overcoming and leaping forward past your own obstacles mentally and sometimes even physically, if that's the case, if that's something what we have to get over. So breaking free starts with a leap of faith. Not when you feel ready, but when you decide you're done waiting. The truth is, readiness never comes from doing, but from thinking about doing. And failure never stops being a dead end and starts becoming feedback. You begin to act with imperfection, and that's the great thing, imperfection. I literally chase being imperfect because that is what's going to get me better. Understanding that progress doesn't come from perfect, but from consistent movement. Over time, the better you get, the stronger your abilities become by giving it your all and actually just being consistent. Just like in the gym, you don't have to have the perfect workout routine to get to the right body. You know that, right? You got to show up consistently. And you have to have a plan, of course, but you just have to show up consistently and follow that plan. Each small win you fully commit to builds more momentum and will lead you to the next stepping stone. And when you surround yourself with people who won't let you linger at the edge, guys, this is where it's at. Friends, coaches, mentors, you find yourself deeper with these people, fully submerged in the work. You're no longer a spectator, but you're joining a crew, a group of people who you feel like are pushing you, who are ambitious, who actually maybe are more ambitious or even more put together than you are, or have already defeated these inner beasts. And so by following them and being in a crowd of people like that, you are going to follow your environment. And so with that being said, let's dive into tools to defeat the tiptoe beast. The first one is commit to one full dive. Pick one goal or habit, like I mentioned earlier, and commit fully for 30 days. No half measures. Build this. This is going to help build momentum and your self-confidence. Dive in, whatever this may be. For me, it was a skincare routine. I had to dive in for 30 days. What did I do? I bought everything that needed to be purchased, followed the routine to a T every single night, and now, after my 30 days, it's become pretty religious for me. Yes, do I miss it every now and again? Yes. But is it something that I feel like I've dialed in and become part of my daily routine? Yes. So pick one goal, one habit, whatever it is you're chasing, and dive in. A big one for many is nutrition. If that's something that you need to work in, follow a meal plan for 30 days. Promise yourself no junk food for 30 days. Promise you're going to reach your caloric intake goal or your macronutrient goal for 30 days. Whatever it is, just pick one and dive in. And when you see the benefit of this, when you fully commit and not tiptoe, then you're going to want to do this more and more in everything that you do in life. Because again, consistency shows all. And your consistency is going to show that this plan works. So again, stop tiptoeing and pick one goal and dive in. Tool number two is reframe failure as growth. Failure isn't the enemy, stagnation is. Each failure is data to improve, not a sign to quit. Use your failures and don't allow your failures to determine your destination. Reframe failure as growth. We know that you're going to have to fail in order to move ahead. The people that have built the biggest companies and have had the most success fail every single day. Matter of fact, they embrace failure because they know where that leads. They know that's going to take them to the next step and to the next level. So reframe how you see failure and use failure as failing forward. This is a big quote. If you're going to fail forward. Learn from your failures and keep on going. Tool number 3 is schedule deadlines with consequences. This is big. So when it comes to going all in, part of going all in is making sure that you do what you say you're going to do, no matter what. No matter how tired you are, no matter what your brain is telling you, no matter what you have on your schedule, you are going to set deadlines. And there's going to be consequences if you don't reach those deadlines. Set clear deadlines and share them publicly. This is the consequence. With an accountability partner such as social media, it forces commitment, friendship, whatever, family. Put it out there. Put it out there on social media. I'm on a 50-pound weight loss journey and I'm going to get it by the end of the year. I got 6 months to lose 50 pounds. Follow my journey. Boom. I am creating, this is what I'm doing with my mindset coaching business. I'm putting it out there. First, I want people to know about it. I want people to understand what is coming. So whenever it comes, they're already ready for it, but also it holds me accountable. I'm putting it out there. I am building a mindset coaching business. So with that, schedule deadlines and make sure there's consequences behind it. Tool number 4 is break the ready myth. You will never be 100% ready. Waiting is just procrastination dressed as preparation. Start now. Break that myth because you will only have more on your plate as time goes on. Tool number 5 is visualize your future self. This one's big for me. Imagine the person you want to be who fully commits and reaps the rewards, and let that vision pull you forward. For me, I want to be on stage. I want to be giving TED Talks. I want to be Gary Vee, Tony Robbins. I want a following of people who love and want to hear what I have to say. But they're not going to want to hear somebody that tiptoes. They're not going to want to hear somebody that fails to do what he says he's going to do, because I'm up here preaching to them on how to better themselves if I'm not doing it myself, right? So I visualize my future self. And with that future self comes overcoming this beast. The last one's plain and simple. Create a support system. Surround yourself with people who believe in you and push you to go all in and not halfway. You are who you surround yourself with. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, the people that you bring into your life, you will be a complete mirror image of them. So surround yourself with people who are going to push you and to get better and overcome this tiptoe beast. So breaking free from the tiptoe beast isn't easy, I promise you that. Fear, doubt, and old habits will consistently pull you back. You'll feel vulnerable and exposed, but that discomfort is proof that you're growing. So keep showing up for yourself and keep diving in. Stop tiptoeing and stop allowing this tiptoe beast to overcome your fullest potential, because you deserve everything that you have in your heart, things that you want. Once you stop tiptoeing, you'll start moving faster. Your confidence will grow. Your progress will compound, and you'll love the feeling that brings. You'll learn faster and build resilience in who you are. And when you build resilience, it builds your character. When you build your character, you start making better moves. And most importantly, you'll create a life and results that reflect your full potential, not the cautious half step, tiptoeing knee deep, chilling in the short end. Like, let's get into the deep end, let's dive in, and let's really see what you are truly capable of. And so ask yourself, what is an area of your life where you seem to be tiptoeing? What small step can you take today to dive in fully? And remember, the only true failure is never trying at all. So it's time to stop testing the water, and it's time to start swimming. Let's dive in and let's reach your fullest potential. My name is Aaron Saltzman. I am your host of The Beast Within. Please hit us again with a like, a follow, share us with somebody you love, because I promise you we're going to help you and those people overcome their inner beast and reach their fullest potential. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.